You're listening to CSR News SA Radio, South Africa's online corporate social responsibility news radio station.
Hi there, my name is Simpuem Tashma. Welcome to our CSR News SA radio show. I'm going to be your host for the next 30 to 40 minutes. Welcome into my world as I take you a little bit on a lifting of the spirits.
CSR News SA Radio. Now that's ridiculous. South Africa's online corporate social responsibility news radio station.
All right. Hello and welcome to my show. My name is Simpuem Tashma. I love this track that's playing in the background. It's called Panama, brought to you by Giant's Nest. So what I'm going to be doing for the next 30 minutes is bringing you the news of CSR News across South Africa. But before we begin, I don't know if you're all following the American race between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, but this is what Joe Biden had to say the other day.
What kind of country we're going to be? 4 more years of Georgia, is going to find ourselves in a position where...
Yep. That's what's going on in the US right now. They've got somebody who's running for president who can't remember who he's running against. That is Joe Biden trying to remember in an interview if he's running against George Bush or he's running against Donald Trump. His wife is busy sitting there. She's like, Trump. He's like, Georgia, yeah. And then she says, Trump. And eventually he's like, Trump. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, so I've been checking the polls in the US and I see that they're saying Joe Biden is in the lead. And I'm thinking to myself, how can Joe Biden be in the lead? I don't know if you've been able to watch the rallies between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. I mean, I've never seen something like that. Literally, Donald Trump, somebody said in a tweet, has got rock star crowds versus Joe Biden's 15 people. I mean, it is so bad for Joe Biden's attendance that they started bringing sort of like singing stars like Bon Jovi, Alicia Keys, John Legend, and so that the crowd can come and it's free, of course. I mean, I mean, Joe Biden's got everything going against him. I mean, the other day when he had a perfect crowd, and just when he's about to start speaking, it starts raining. Like 5 minutes of him being on the podium, it starts raining. I mean, this is insane in terms of like when everything is just going against you. Everything is going against the Democrats at the time. My name is Sipho Mthetho. I'm really definitely not voting for Donald Trump or Joe Biden. I just love watching Donald Trump's rallies. I love what he, I love the bareness, the simplicity, there's nothing hidden in Donald Trump because he speaks things as they are immediately, and I love that. Anyway, as we begin my show today, this is what I've got for you for the lineup. First of all, I want to congratulate the matric class, or not congratulate, but wish the matric class of 2020 good luck for your matric exams. I believe they begin today. Today, it's Tuesday, the 3rd of November. Good luck to you. And I believe you're finishing roundabout on just before the 16th of December. And this has been an unprecedented year. So we can only wish you good luck and hope all the best for you. And what I'm also going to be looking at today is the procurement process and CSI across South Africa. I have been fortunate to have observed this year quite a number of procurement processes, and I'm going to tell you who is the best company in terms of procurement at the moment that I've dealt with, various other companies that we've dealt with, that people really have to take good look at this company. And then what we're also going to be looking at is the Old Mutual Foundation's 21 Acts of Goodness. They just completed that on the 31st of October, which started around about July the 27th and ended now in October. The 21 Acts of Goodness was a celebration of Old Mutual, Love Life, as well as Nelson Mandela Foundation. They all three turned 21, and so they look for ways to empower and partner with organizations so that they can help the matric class of 2020 to really do well in the upcoming exams. So the 21 Acts of Goodness give their baton the other day, if you want to call it like that, but it's baton the other day, and now obviously the matric class of 2021 have to take that through. Also, we're going to be discussing our birthday. It was our birthday month. We want to tell you what gifts we've got and what gifts we've given away this year. We're also going to be looking at Me 2030, is our new initiative, which is Mission Educate 2030. We're actually asking the question, or we're saying I'm going to be responsible for the curriculum of 2030. Whatever that I am as a CSI manager, as an NGO practitioner, whatever that I'm going to be doing between now and 2030, whatever that comes out in 2035 is going to be as a direct result of my commitment to what I did towards the education system of 2030. So I'll be looking at that and discussing that with you. And I'm very excited to tell you that, 8 years ago when we launched CSRNEWSSA, our main focus was just simply to focus on news. At which time we learned that things were not happening. We launched a conference which brought the funders. We call it a tool. In our offices, we call these things tools. Yes, it's a conference, but it's a tool. What was the tool for? To bring funders and NGOs in the room so that they can discuss issues about making money. We know that millions and millions through those platforms that we've got have now shaken hands. Other funders have met NGOs have met funders, because the conference itself, called the Funders Round, really brings NGOs and funders into a room, and we only invite decision makers to talk to those that are looking for the money. And now we're about to launch our next vision or division or business unit, whichever way you want to look at it, called Lusanti. Lusanti is both a Zulu word and a Hebrew word. Lusa means lead, and Hebrew Lusanti means the freed. So Lead the Freed is our consultancy firm. We'll tell you all about it as to how it works on the CSI space or in the CSI space to help the CSI industry. We're only launching Lusanti in 2021, but the process has already begun. You can already go to www.lusanti.csrnewssa.co.za. But before I talk too much, remember to come back. When I come back, we're going to go through all the shows. My name is Sipho Mthetho. And before I talk, let's go to a quick ad break.
Hi, this is Kazim Tang Jr. from the Kazim Tang Jr. Foundation, and you're listening to CSR News Radio.
My name is Silo Hatang. I'm the Chief Executive of the Nelson Mandela Foundation. You are listening to CSR News.
CSR News SA Radio.
Now that's ridiculous. My name is Fidile Gushase. I'm head of Old Mutual Foundation. You're listening to CSR News Radio.
My name is Dr. Linda Nkomo. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Love Life, the biggest youth health promotion organization in South Africa. You're listening to CSR News SA.
We are back. Let's tell you what the cases look like of COVID-19 across South Africa and the globe. 728,000 cases reported, or total cases thus far. Recovered 658,000. Deaths 19,465. Across the globe, 47.4 million people thus far. Cases have been reported. 31.4 million recovered, and 1.2 million deaths are reported across the globe. As I said, my name is Simpuem Tetwa. If you need to chat to me about anything, do visit me on our Twitter handle, which is at csrnewssa.co.za. And you can also find us on at CSRNEWSSA.co.za on Facebook, and I believe we are now on Instagram. So we've got our social team that's doing our Instagram handles there, so you can find out more about what we're doing there. I mean, I think I did say matric class of 2020. Good luck to you. We wish you all the best. We wish you all the best. We wish you all of the best. So yeah. I want to talk about something that has been happening to me in the last couple of months and experiences that I've been through. Us in the CSI space, we experience a lot of things. NGOs and NPOs, small businesses that are in the CSI space experience a lot of things. I have to give it up to every CSI manager, practitioner, people that have worked so hard in this period. We just released our first COVID-19 CSI response magazine, which was released last month in September, which went out. We are sold out. I mean, literally, there is no more copies left. I'm left with only sample copies. We sold out. So we are busy reprinting an additional batch for other people who might want these copies. I mean, these copies have been really so amazing. We've had companies in there like Old Mutual, Vodacom, Growth Point. I mean, a number of companies are in there. So Capitec and so on and so forth, you can find them. So this brings me to my point of why I want to discuss the various organizations that we've worked with in the last couple of months. And I said to myself that I'm going to talk about a company that I thought we all need to really take cognizance of what they're doing. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, I've worked with many organizations in CSI over the last 10, 15 years. I've been around here doing a lot of things from when I was a junior to where I am now as an editor for this on digital and now print publication. What I have learned is I have not seen a procurement system as wonderful and as effective as Capitec's procurement system. I think everybody from the industry need to find out what they're doing, because whatever that those guys are doing, they really have simplified the way to do business. Not only have they, they've simplified it so much that every friend I talk to, I was talking to my brother over the weekend. We were just driving and, coming from his house. He just bought a new big car, and I was like, wow, that's incredible, blah, blah, blah. And I asked him, I said, do you have a Capitec account? And he was like, no. And I said, he says, yes, you're promoting these guys. I'm not only promoting them because I like promoting Capitec. I'm promoting them because what they are doing is really worth watching. It's literally, like people don't like to kind of look at Capitec. I speak to my family and friends and I say, hey, Capitec, and everyone goes like, ooh. It's like people, when you say Donald Trump, people are like, but they don't really know what you're talking about until they've tried it. You have got to see the Capitec procurement system. I personally think, and I've worked with various organizations over the last 20 years, span of 20 years, and I've experienced various amounts of procurement system from top companies to the smallest companies, but Capitec's procurement system is really, for me, it is the best procurement system. They are aware that you're a small business. They are cognizant that they have to make sure that you are paid on time, and they really drive a focus of telling you what is going on. They keep you in the loop, or at least that's my experience. And that was the first time. I remember a couple of years back, I was talking to a friend of mine. He was saying to me, yo, man, you've got to experience some Capitec. And I was one of those, I'll never go to Capitec. The only time I went to Capitec was because our finance director, or manager, said to me, so you gotta open a Capitec account. And I was like, Capitec, man, I'll never open a Capitec account. That's what I said. And one day I was stuck in a mall and I had to wait there like for something. I can't remember what I was waiting for, but I had to wait for like an hour. And I just kind of like thought, okay, let me drift into a Capitec. I drifted into Capitec. I opened one of their brochures, like with the queues of Capitec. Somebody once said you have to carry a lunch tin to go to a Capitec ATM, right? So you can eat. But the more I went into Capitec, I was standing there, and I think for about 15 minutes, and I opened up their little brochure. Once I'd finished opening up the brochure, I just walked in the shop. I asked the lady, so can you tell me a little bit about opening an account? And she said, yeah, it's going to cost you 5 rand, sir, and that's what we charge per month. And I said, okay, cool. And then she said to me, you can, blah, blah, blah. Guys, it was so simple to open an account. I opened that account within 15 minutes, I think, maybe 30 minutes. But within 30 minutes, I remember I didn't have my proof of payment. They said, it's fine, so you don't have to worry. We just need your ID, and they needed my ID, and they needed my, I think it was, I could tell them, my ID was pretty much it, really. I gave them my ID. I opened the account. I didn't even put money in there. They gave me their card immediately. I went home. I deposited money when I was at home. And I told the accounts lady, hey, we've got a Capitec account now for VAT. Basically, they wanted us to open a Capitec account so we can put a VAT in there. So that's what I experienced with Capitec, from not only opening a bank account with them to, and then a friend of mine was saying, yo, man, I just met with these guys from Capitec. You got to really, 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 meet them up. And I was like, yeah. Eventually, in some random act, we worked on something with Capitec, and that procurement system of theirs was it. I have never come close to anything like what I experienced with Capitec. And I have to give a shout out to Neptel and his team. They are on top. Kent De Oliveira and Neptel, they keep you in the loop. They direct you, and they are there to guide you and to guard you and to walk with you through the procurement system. I have to actually say also, there's a lot more companies that are also doing incredible work in terms of, their procurement system. But the Capitec turnaround procurement system was within 15 days from the time that you filled in all the documents, and then they, approved you, and within 15 days of that, you were paid. And then once you're in the system, they pay you. The second time we did something for them, within 7 days, they had paid. For me, that is one of the top-notch procurement system that is really cognizant that it's working with small businesses that really need all the cash so that they can make sure that they have a cash flow that runs. And for me, Capitec is really one of those businesses that really doesn't just talk simplicity, it applies simplicity in its daily works, not only from when I walked into the bank to just look at their brochure, to asking about a question and getting a card. It was immediate, it was quick. Everything of theirs really has been great. My name is Simpwem Tetra. When I come back, I'm going to be discussing with you about the Me 2020 initiative that we started, which focuses on education. If you need to chat to me about what your experience is on Capitec, please pop us an email on at CSRNEWSSA. In fact, let me just give you this, editor at csrnewssa.co.za, or you can just, chat to us via social platforms. Go to CSR News to at csrnewssa.co.za, on Facebook and Twitter, same thing, and now on Instagram at csrnewssa.co.za. I'm going to be back straight after this.
My name is Homoto from Macmillan Education, and you are listening to CSR News Radio.
My name is George Koza from Brand South Africa. You are listening to CSR Radio.
My name is Khomotso Mudimong-Holo. You're listening to CSR News Radio.
You're listening to CSR News SA Radio, South Africa's online corporate social responsibility news radio station.
All right. Welcome back to my show. My name is Simpwem Tetra. Oh, I love to dance. Sometimes, I don't dance anymore like I used to. I remember when I was growing up and I said to myself, when I turn 40, I should never be going out anymore and I should just be at home reading books and, it actually happened for me when I was about 33 years old, about 7-8 years ago now. Well, a long time ago, I'm not going to tell, but I'll tell you that I've already turned 40. And I remember just thinking about 3 years ago when I stopped going out and I just started focusing on reading and, life just changed for me. But the tracks that I play in the background are really some nice tracks to keep, the shows lively and going. But yeah, so as I said to you earlier, that I'm going to come back and we're going to discuss the Me 2030 initiative. Before I actually get down to that, I have to tell you, so the Me 2030 initiative that we started is an education program or initiative that we're launching, which makes us as the CSI industry as a whole in a program I called the MISSI. If you are a consultant at McKinsey or whatever, they've got the MISSI program, which is a MISSI principle, which is mutually exclusive but collectively exhaustive. Mutually exclusive but collectively exhaustive. What that really means is that we're separate in our ways, but we've looked at all the areas that need to be covered to deal with the particular issue or problem. So using those principles, using that MISSI idea, we then launch the Me 2030 initiative that looks at the holistic CSI industry as a whole. And we're saying, how does the CSI industry become accountable to the education system of 2030? Whether it be going to be thriving or failing, we are going to be accountable. So we then started looking at what frameworks we needed to put down. I remember when I presented the first draft, so how it works in our office is I have to come up with a concept and then present that draft and then to the rest of the editorial team, and then we sit together and we try and basically think what everyone else outside of us will think. So we've got everybody who nitpicks and grinds the thing, and once everybody grinds it, then I take it to an external, and then, for example, like this one, the Me 2030 movement, we took it to an education, to a senior executive at TUT, and we said, look at this concept of ours, what do you think? And they were like, well, you're using Maslow's concept there. We see that you're using Maslow's concept. And I said, no, we're not using the Maslow's concept. Maslow's concept is not actually featuring. It's just the basis. Why do we fund? I mean, that's what I asked. I said, why are we funding in CSI? And we had to first figure out, because this colleague of mine used to be a CSI manager for APSA and Liberty and so on. And now he's working at the amazing TUT, Tshwane University of Technology. And the first thing he looked at was the Maslow's principle, and said, well, the Maslow's principle or concept is not going to work for the system. And I said, no, we're not looking at the concept. We're looking at the first phase of why we're funding. Why do CSI managers fund? And that was such an interesting viewpoint from our angle that we started putting together another series or articles that are going to be coming out of what's the purpose of funding, because that for us became a very good way in which we could evaluate the educational framework. Well, in my view, we fund so that we can bring the communities into mainstream economy, so that one can be able to have the basics: food security, which food, water, roof, and the ability to work, to be able to gainfully go to school and find and be an active citizen within the economy. And once I think we define that, then we can then define why this Me 2030 initiative. I'll tell you a little bit about Maslow. At the height of World War II, Abraham Maslow proposed a hierarchy of human needs, often depicted as a pyramid, where it was necessary for one need to be fulfilled in order to meet the next. By the mid-1950s, he had written a book popularizing this same idea. What I like about the Maslow principle, if you take a look at it, it's got levels, of course. It's got the psychological needs, which is food, water, warmth, and rest. And that's what we've done really with the education system. We're saying in our funding framework, or in our education in Me 2030, we want to make sure that we are able to fund the basics: the food, the water, the warmth, and the rest. So that if we fund that particular framework, we are being able to give the learner the opportunity to then, study. And then the second phase of our funding model of Me 2030, or it's a framework, so look at it as a framework, is cradle to career. And I called it, a colleague of mine from Xanax said it's what we call building blocks. I said it is the seed. What is the child learning from grade R? And then the next, subject or class that he moves into, grade R to grade whatever, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, matric, and university. What are the building blocks, so to say, that we are putting? Those building blocks will define the career that this young cradle learner is getting into and what they will find. So the first thing we built in Me 2030 was, first phase is we want to make sure that the CSI funding meets the basic needs, which is food, water, warmth, and rest, so that the learner in this phase is able to really be able to think, to be able to be creative, to be able to think on their toes, on their feet, on their feet, to be able to be adaptable, to just have more drive within the cognitive thinking of the brain. And then from there, we then move to say, okay, once we've develop this basic framework using the Maslow's principle, but not the entire principle of Maslow, because as you would know, Maslow has been challenged by thousands and thousands of views that basically say, well, Manfred Max Neef, for example, rejected Maslow's theory, but we're not going to go into that. So once we've actually identified Maslow's theory, Maslow's beginning for the CSI thing, to say we're funding for the purposes of making sure that our learners have got food, water, warmth, and rest. In other words, a good home, and the basic needs, like a computer, they can travel to school and back, and that's why we fund. And then basically then we look at the curriculum, like what are the building blocks that we really have put for the learner. Yes, now we funded the basics. We've made sure that they've got rest. Now, what does this curriculum have? Because these curriculums will then define what the career would look like. Because if we then design that in advance, right now our journalists have been busy, our editor-at-large has been busy just working with professors and vice-chancellors. We've got this magazine coming out in April, May next year. It's going to be amazing because we've been hard at work just trying to put this new theory together. So just to tell you a little bit, so these are the building blocks of obviously our Me 2030 concept. And Me 2030 to us, it's called Mission Educate 2030. Corporate Social Responsibility News South Africa has developed our own education initiative called Mission Educate 2030. Me 2030 goal is to hold CSI South Africa accountable to the education system, models and processes of 2030, the building blocks of the learner, the programs that are designed within the industry, and the partners and the stakeholders that drive them. So we're then saying inside Me 2030, let's really design programs and projects that have a purpose. We are understanding that there are these building blocks, and then this is where MISI comes in. You're saying, well, I'm not going to fund the matriculants, but I'm going to fund grade R because that's in line with our strategy. But within the collective, exhaustive, mutually exclusive cycle or circle, we then take our parts. And so together as an industry within the next 15 years, because by the time the matric class of 2030 goes in, we should have worked hard enough to influence the education system of 2030 so that the first qualified student by 2035 that comes out should come out from the efforts of our work, because truly we are going to be accountable basically to the education system of 2030. So in the office here, we've got quite a number of ex-teachers, current teachers, and so on and so forth that are editors and sub-editors and blah, blah, blah. So we have big debates about, what really needs to happen and how it needs to happen. So we'd encourage you to kind of check out our Me 2030 initiative and, decide if that's something that you would want to partner with. It's a magazine that's coming out in April. So we're looking for new concepts. I remember just writing, and then we're looking for new concept, new ideas, new theories, new fresh thinking, really, to be part of it. Talking about the education system, I have to now bring in the Old Mutual's 21 Acts of Goodness, which has been one of the most incredible programs that I was also a part of through the last 5 months or so. July, August, September, October, just through the last 3 months. But we started really planning it in May, but it kind of came together in July, and as you see now. So what 21 Acts of Goodness was all about is that these three organizations were turning 21. They wanted to empower 21 NGOs, and also help the matric class of 2020 to reach their goals, their objectives, to pass. And Old Mutual went out of their way to really work with thousands. Old Mutual Foundation worked out of their way to work with thousands of organizations to make sure that they are empowered to help the matric class within their regions across the nation. So it has been a fantastic program. You can go and check out the Old Mutual Foundation's 21 Acts of Goodness on www.21acts.co.za. It is an initiative that I've been very close to since its inception, and I'm very, very grateful to have had that opportunity to be a part of that. And I have to thank the head of Old Mutual Foundation, which is Ms. Fikile Kuhlase, who is heading up the Old Mutual Foundation with such zeal and as we say it in our language, with chutzpah, like really somebody who's driving up. I mean, when we travel and we are either in a school or something, we see departments, organizations, various NGOs, and it's really an amazing sight to be able to go into one of the Old Mutual Foundation's programs or events where you see a whole host of practitioners, partners, organizations. For example, in 21 Acts of Goodness, the partners that were there were Mbumba Foundation, Love Life, Nelson Mandela Foundation, Brand SA. I mean, the list just goes on, and it's not just small people. I mean, for Mbumba Foundation, it's the CEO, Richard Mabaso, who climbed Kilimanjaro, I think about 7-8 times now. From Love Life, it's the CEO, Dr. Linda Nkomo, who was also there. From Nelson Mandela Foundation, it's the CEO of the Nelson Mandela Foundation, which is Saloha Tang. From Band SA is a stakeholder relations executive, George Koza. So it's really amazing and empowering. And I was there in the last a couple of weeks back, I think around about from the 8th to the 12th, there was a 5-day media activation, and we were part of it. And I experienced over where I saw them really empower over 1,800 youths. So the Mbumba Foundation donated sort of 1,800 sanitary pads, and throughout the year since they've started their their program, they've donated over 1.2 million pads. And I saw over 508 matriculants being registered. They've got this program called Year 2 Scholars. And what this program does really is, whilst we're there at these events in rural areas where people can't really get to a university or to drive all the way to Joburg, to Cape Town, what this program does is called Vision 2020, Year 2 Scholars, is that they come there and they set up with computers and laptops and everything in this, and then they invite all the matriculants to apply for all the universities. So they brought their data, the computers, and blah, blah, blah. So the matriculants are applying for their matric exams, of course. To enter universities, of course. And then once these matrics get accepted, they get SMSs, you've been accepted, and then now they have to apply for NSFAS. So now the Mbumba Foundation with Year 2 Scholars comes back to make sure that the youths or the matriculants are now applying for funding at NSFAS. It's amazing. I mean, in this last the media activation that was happening in Mpumalanga, which was the United Nations International Day of the Girl Child, which was promoting the United Nations Day of the Girl Child. There was a young girl that started off with the Mbumba Foundation initiative that was there at the beginning of this Caring for Girls initiative, and now she's a teacher in the local area, in the rural area there, and she was just giving her her what happened through this initiative, which for me I thought was an incredible initiative. So we have to thank the Old Mutual Foundation for what they're doing, because they really, as I said, the chutzpah in which you have to see the head of the Old Mutual Foundation. And I believe this event that we went to was powered by Old Mutual Insure, by a lady called Antonio Oakes, who heads up Old Mutual Insure and Responsible Business for Old Mutual Foundation. My name is Sipho Mtetwa. Remember, tell me what is happening around your education system. Is there an education program which we should be discussing post COVID-19? What does education look like? My name is Sipho Mtetwa. I want to hear all that you've got to say about that. Before I go, remember to just drop me an email at editor@csrnewssa.co.za, or you can pop me a voice note on 076 067 729 11868. If I forget that number, 067 729 11868, or drop me a Twitter on Twitter at CSRNEWSSA.co.za, and Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, it's at CSRNEWSSA.co.za. I'll be back straight after this.
You're listening to CSR News SA podcast. South Africa's online corporate social responsibility news radio station. CSR News SA Radio. Now that's ridiculous.
My name is Richard Mabaso, 6-time summiteer of Mount Kilimanjaro, and I'm the CEO of Mbumba Foundation. You are listening to CSR News.
CSR News SA Radio. Now that's ridiculous.
I was distracted and in traffic. I Didn't feel it when the earthquake happened, but it really got me thinking. Were you out drinking? Were you in the living room chilling, watching television? It's been a year now, think I figured out how to let you go and let communication die out. I know, you know, we know you weren't down for forever and it's fine. I know, you know, we weren't meant for each other, but it's fine. If the world was ending, you come over, right? You come over and you stay tonight. Would you love me for the hell of it? All our fears would be irrelevant. If the world was ending, you come over, right? The sky be falling and I hold you tight. And there wouldn't be a reason why we would even have to say goodbye. If the world was ending, you come over, right? Right? If the world was ending, you come over, right? Right?
Try to imagine your reaction. It didn't scare me when the earthquake happened, but it really got me thinking. The night we went drinking, something put in the house and didn't make it past the kitchen. Damn, it's been a year now. Think I figured out how to think about you without it ripping my heart out. I know, you know, we weren't down for forever and it's fine. I know, you know, we weren't meant for each other and it's fine. But if the world was ending, you'll come over, right? You come over and you stay tonight. Would you love me for the hell of it? And all our fears would be irrelevant. If the world was ending, you'll come over, right? The sky be falling while I hold you tight. No, there wouldn't be a reason why we would even have to say goodbye. If the world was ending, you'll come over, right? Right? If the world was ending, you'll come over, right? Right?
I know, you know, we know you weren't down for forever and it's fine. I know, you know, we weren't meant for each other and it's fine. But if the world was ending, you come over, right? You come over and you stay tonight. Would you love me for the hell of it? All our fears would be irrelevant. If the world was ending, you come over, right? The sky be falling and I hold you tight. And there wouldn't be a reason why we would even have to say goodbye. Cause if the world was ending, you come over, right? Right? If the world was ending, would you come over?
You know, if I told you that I just came across that song maybe about 2 months ago, If the World Was Ending, you'd come over, right? By JP Sachs featuring Julia Michaels. And when I heard it, I just listened to it over and over and over again. And I know where we've been with the pandemic, you know, and where we've been with just not knowing what our matriculants will do and what we've been able to do. So it's an amazing song, but that's not actually the song by JP. Well, it's their song, but it's a cover, and it's sang by Will Gittins and Caitlin Castle, with a K, Kastle. So an exciting feature or rendition of that song. So check them out there on YouTube when they sing that song, Will Gittins and Caitlin Castle. Yeah, just before we close, I've got 2 more things that I have to share. As I said, we turned 8 last in August, end of August, and we asked random people where were they 8 years ago, and this is what they had to say.
My name is Yasser Godlo, Director of Mandela Day and Outreach Programs at the Nelson Mandela Foundation. 8 years ago, my career had grown into a space where I had been entrusted with Mandela Day program. And this being an international day, but also being an international program, it was quite a fulfilling work, ensuring that I drive a strategy of not just change, but and invested in and leveraging in CSI, but it was beyond that, because the social development priorities internationally and locally within South Africa and Africa particularly have shown that they're quite dynamic and quite different. So my work in Mandela Day has grown over the years, quite fulfilling, but most importantly has reached and touched a lot of lives and changed a lot of lives.
Good afternoon, this is Kanyisa Diamond speaking. In January of this year, I had a conversation with a colleague of mine, and we were talking about how tough 2019 was for us as a team, and that we were hoping 2020 will bring some reprieve. So we started the year on a high, and we had just received confirmation from our board that we could go ahead and do a scoping exercise that would help us understand how best we implement our strategy for improving literacy and numeracy in the education space. And on a personal level, I had just enrolled for a postgraduate diploma in future studies with the University of Stellenbosch Business School.
My name is Clemens Mbalati from Mpumalanga Province. I'm a director at Face TV. Face TV is an online broadcasting company. 8 days ago, I wasn't working. In 2020 January, things were looking good. I was hoping that this year I'll buy more equipment and get more contracts. But because of the pandemic, things didn't go the way I planned them. But I'll soldier on.
Yeah, so outside of that was our three special guest directors from their respective fields who shared where they were 8 years ago. And 8 years ago, we were starting CSR News from the beginning. And so we're very excited that 8 years later, we are working and talking to our random directors that are leading and running the space of CSI, which was obviously always our mandate and what we had aspired to do. Before I close, I want you to listen to this one other thing, which I can't tell you about much now. I can only tell you about it in the next show. But listen to this. Live from Johannesburg, South Africa, we celebrate the outstanding efforts of CSI South Africa. The CSI Legacy Awards are the industry's leading marketplace for community development and community empowerment. With thousands of practitioners among 55 million South Africans, the CSI Legacy Awards ecosystem sets the standard for meaningful community development, public-private partnerships, collaboration, and networking. Join us as we honor the talented practitioners, funders, NGOs, and civil society who help bring our industry to life. Welcome to the inaugural CSI Legacy Awards.
Hi there. So you want to know what exactly it is that we do here at CSRNEWSSA? Our mission is to improve the practice of CSI in a changing South Africa. Among the many hopes, dreams, and visions was the notion of providing a service second to none, with levels of engagement that go beyond any that have come before us. CSI is an industry, and we believe a force to be reckoned with. Yet, as with all industries, CSI must be constantly evaluated, developed, deepened, and renewed. In addition to this, companies engaged in CSI need to get their messages across. We believe that it is an error to think of CSI as something one carries out behind the scenes. If CSI is to be professionalized, it needs to be transparent and public. Projects and programs designed to uplift and develop need to be brought to the attention of those who, in one way or another, form part of the development ecosystem. And for this, corporates and NGOs need the expertise and insights of professional marketers steeped in the knowledge of CSI. And at CSR News SA, that is what we do. In a nutshell, we enable companies and NGOs to make the most of their CSI initiatives, working more creatively, effectively, and beneficially for communities and for themselves. In the past 8 years, we have seen many changes in how this is done. For example, 8 years ago, companies had one logo, and we'd be commissioned to work on the single brand associated with that logo. Today, the logo has become one of many brand assets and must be far more adaptable and able to suit various brand activities. Companies have realized the value of a logo that is flexible and expresses the full range of their activities and identities. Want to learn more? Come and check us out. Visit csrnewssa.co.za.
CSR News SA Radio.
That's it. That's the end of my show. It's really have come to an end. Oh, it's almost an hour. It has been fantastic. I hope that we were able to chat about this, that, and everything else. But before I close, I wanted to share with you about Lusanti. So CSR News SA, after some time, it took us about 3 years really to kind of get to this point where we thought we need a consultancy or consultancy firm that really kind of deals with two things, rural areas and the township economy. You would all know about it right now. We're working with the partner to develop ways in which we train communities in the township in terms of how to prepare their paperwork, how to apply for funding. So we're preparing that economy using Lusanti, and then being able to help them access funding. So that's part of Lusanti's main goal. Lusanti, which as I said, Lusa is a Zulu word that says lead. Lusanti, lead the freed. So once we've educated, shown you, given the opportunity, you are free to now go on your way and really be able to access better funding, so you can be able to help more communities and touch more lives. So it's been a process, and even now we're just going to launch. We've already started in a way, so you can go to www.lusanti.csrnewssa.co.za. You'll find that the site already is live, and we're working with some clients in the background, but we're just trying to get our machines working okay and correct. And once everything is ready and we're thinking, we're happy with the product now, then we're going to completely launch it. So we've given ourselves the next 8 months really to kind of get all our ducks in a row and understand the processes that we need to go through and the frameworks and the delivery deliverables and the business units in which we're going to partner with, and so on and so forth. So please look out for Lusanti. We will be promoting a lot of Lusanti initiatives, and we are looking for team members to join us and help us to grow within the Lusanti brand that we're building. And again, this business unit that we're launching is really designed to assist both the rural communities who are not who are prone not to get funding or who don't have access to digital software and access to the internet and so on and so forth, so that they can be able to get access. So we go out to the communities, to rural communities, we go out to township economy, and we hold workshops, and then we train, we showcase how to apply, and so on and so forth. And once we've helped these organizations, then we're able to give them that access, that those opportunities, so that they're able to apply. So that's really part and parcel of what Lusanti can and does do. There's a lot more to that, but I can only share a little bit about that for now. Thank you again for spending this time with me. My name is Simpuem Tetra. That is the end of my show. Can you imagine? It has been a jam-packed show. I'm about to check out Donald Trump win the elections again for another 4 years. I mean, I can't imagine a world without Donald Trump. I think I need Donald Trump. He keeps me, whenever I watch the American politics, I can definitely kind of like laugh and it's always humorous. So I wanted to close with a song that really reminds me, when I was growing up, I found this group in Cape Town. It was, the first time I literally came across jazz, and I thought, wow, this is jazz. It was a double bass, keys, drum. I think it was a drum. A double bass, keys, drum. And I think, it was a double bass, keys, and drums, and that's it. And guys, it was in another world. I was working, but I was mesmerized by these three guys. I remember it was three guys that were playing. The guy was in the keys, a double bass, doom, 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 not a trumpet, a saxophone. It was out of this world. I really still remember those guys, like when jazz really took me under its wings. So I want to find a song that represents what that feeling was like for me. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and we hope to see you again in 2021, revived, ready to take on the world. I thank you for spending your time with me. My name is Simpuem Tetra. If you need to chat to me about anything, opportunities for you to be in fact interviewed, because we are going live with our shows next year, we'll be interviewing people. We've partnered with some organizations where we'll be able to host the shows in various areas around Johannesburg. So we can come to your offices. If you need us to do an interview, please pop me an email at editor@csrnewssa.co.za or speak to one of our sales guys, which is sales@csrnewssa.co.za. It's far better to talk to the sales team than it is to talk to me. People get really frustrated that try and talk to me. They really, really do, because my plate is quite full sometimes, and I try and manage everything, I'm sure you can imagine, and it really doesn't work. So it's far better to talk to the lady that helps me out, which is Igna or Van Rensburg, or to speak to perhaps Bryson Mansour, who's our sales coordinator, if you want to find out how you can partner with us through the podcast or radio station. My name is Simpuem Tetra. Remember to check out everything that we do on www.csrnews.co.za, or you can check us out on social networks. We're only using the following three, actually four, but three, which is Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and we're using Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. That's the one that gets me now because it's quite new. And Instagram, so it's at csrnewssa.co.za, and you can also find us on YouTube at csrnewssa.co.za. Until next time, thank you very much for joining me, and this is the song that I've picked for you.
my first Noel, the angels did say, was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields where they lay, keeping their sheep on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Noel, 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 Noel. Born is the King of Israel. They looked up and saw a star shining in the east, beyond them far, and to the earth it gave great light, and so it continued both day and night. Noel, 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 Noel. Born is the King of Israel. Born is the King. Born is the King. Born is the King of Israel.
Thank you for listening to CSR News SA Radio, South Africa's online corporate social responsibility news radio station.